Hello, thank you for tuning to my Story My Song Talk Show. This is your host, Tina Asha. Today we are going to discuss very important topic, and I have beautiful ladies here who are going to join me to discuss very important issue. Why are women not supporting each other? What are the reasons why women are not supporting each other? On my far right, I will ask Onome to introduce herself. Okay.
Good evening, everyone, and it's a pleasure to be in your show again.
Mm-hmm.
My name is Onome Lemare. As usual, I'm a wife, I'm a mother, and I'm an accountant by profession. So I'm glad to be here.
Hi Tina, thank you so much for inviting me on your show again.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm Judith Saba. I'm also a wife, a mother of 2 beautiful children, and I mentor women.
Okay, so my topic today, thank you very much for coming, and it's like I'm always disturbing you on this show.
Oh no, it's
So,
our pleasure.
okay, so I'm so glad that anytime I invite you, you come on this show. I'm
Love
so
it.
glad you love it.
Yes.
Thank you very much. And our topic today is why are so many women are not supporting each other in business, in everything. Some women are not supporting each other. What is the reason why?
I won't just say women. I think it's humans,
Okay.
both men, both women. Humans generally don't. It takes the grace of God for you to want to help somebody because of our kind of nature. Like the Bible says, the heart of man is desperately wicked. I'll look at it from two perspectives. Some people might have a reason of not supporting somebody, like they've gone through experiences, people that they've helped have backstabbed them,
Yes.
and normal human nature will not want to help another person because they want you to be beneath them, so that they will feel superior above you. So there are different reasons why people generally don't like to support each other. So it takes the grace of God for you as a Christian to know that your destiny or whatever you're going to become does not lie in the hands of a man, whether you help the person or not. It takes you to have that mentality for you to be able to help someone. If you don't have God in your life or have that mentality, you'll be like everyone else. When you see somebody you can, support, you will not want to support the person because you want the person to continue to reverence you, to continue to give you respect, for them to look up to you and say, oh, she has made it. I'm not there. I'm not, human nature. It's just like that.
Interesting. I think following on from what Onome said, I think in life, when people are progressing and you're getting higher, and maybe your house gets bigger, your car, you increase the number of cars, you look like, hey, life is really going for you. In order for people to be happy for you, they're not. They're rather looking at all those material things got and thinking, how did he or she get that? I want that. Rather than be happy for you and say, you know what? Hello, person. I admire you. I can see where you were and where you are now. Tell me what your secret is. What have you done to get there? Because I admire you so much. Even if you could just give me some tips and techniques. That person who's reached there probably will turn around and say, oh, who are you? I'm not going to share anything with you.
Yeah.
So it goes two ways. Because sometimes when people get to a place, as a good human being, what you do is turn your back or look over your shoulder and help those who need help. Even if it's a 2-minute talk, a 1-minute conversation, a hello or upliftment or something. But rather they don't. They just feel, oh, I'm here, so I don't need to help anybody. That's the wrong attitude to have. Because if you've got to that place, you now should turn around and say, well, who else needs my help? That's charity work. That's being, that's as a good human being, that's what you should do. I think sometimes when people get there, they don't help others behind them. But also as well, as Onome said, because their fingers have been bitten before. I'll give you an example. Many years ago, I was in a position and I gave somebody a reference. Not knowing that this person didn't have all the everything. And rather for you to say, they didn't, and it came out. And I had egg on my face. So I said to myself, that I'm not going to happen to me again. Just recently, somebody asked me again for reference. I said, I'm really sorry. Because of experience, I only give references to those who I can really attest to their work. I never heard from her. She even said, okay, I didn't even hear from her again.
Yeah, but at least
Right, okay. So I've learned from experience. So tomorrow, If something has come to me, I'll just say no plane because of what somebody did before. So others sometimes spoil it for others because of their behaviour.
Okay, and a lot of people are complaining that black businesses are not growing. What do you think is the reason? Our customer service, or because you can see that sometimes when you go to a black shop, the attitude, not all the black shop, but some customer service is very poor, and also the way we increase our price, so people tend from coming to us then go to other people. So what do you think the reason? Is it because we don't have money to buy and sell in stock in a big, larger quantity, or what do you think is the reason?
You know, anything that you do, if you're a business owner, an individual, anything, you should walk and work in excellence.
Yeah.
And I think for us as black people, when we get to a place whereby we have a business, etc., we forget where we've come from.
Yeah.
And I hear what you're saying about the customer service, because you can go to a black shop and the way they drag their feet, even for them to say good morning or good afternoon, good evening when you come to shop, is non-existent. We need to educate ourselves. Remember that we're there because of the customer. You're not there because of you. You're there because of the customer, because you saw a need, you saw a gap in the market, and you wanted to serve that gap. So if you're serving them, serve them correctly. And sometimes because of that, I've had bad experiences going to black-owned shop, even black tradesmen. You call them today, tomorrow, the next day, oh, I'm coming, I'll ring you back. You don't hear from them. And I was to my husband, you know what? I don't blame black people when they say they're not going to deal with black businesses, because they get bad treatments. We don't help ourselves sometimes. There's a video that I've seen recently about the Jewish community and the Indian community, how when money goes in, it circles around so many times. The black community, when the money goes in, if it's £1, it stays there, I think, X amount of hours before it goes. We don't support our own, but we don't support our own sometimes because of the experiences that we've had. And what you said about the monopoly, because, you know, they call us a minority for a reason. In this United Kingdom, if I talk about just black people, we are a minority. When we talk, we can't really talk because, you know what, we don't have economic power. And when you don't have economic power, you cannot talk. So when you don't have economic power, it's harder for us to come together, because there are already different communities that have economic power. They have come together and monopolized. So if they're going to buy one thing, they're buying it as a group. They'll get it as a discount. Rather than me coming as Judith and I'm coming and buying one, I won't get the discount because I don't have the economic power. And that is the problem. So then we can talk, but we need to use this and say, how will we move ourselves forward? One thing I always tell my husband is that I don't want my children, I don't spoil my kids. I reward good behaviour. I don't spoil them, they will tell you. But what I don't want them to do is to struggle the way I struggled. Because with the black community, every generation we start from zero. That's why we don't progress. So when you always start from zero, that means we're always starting from zero. And even to get to 10 is a struggle. I won't spoil my kids, but what I'll do, when I see them when they're older doing something, I'll meet them halfway. Because I want them to struggle a bit, because that's what builds resilience and character. But if they struggle worse than how I'm doing, then how will each generation progress? What about my children and their children and their children? You see?
So, in this case, is there any education that we have to give it to our black community, or how can we support?
Yeah, just as Judith has said, in the black community business, we lack integrity. People know that we don't have integrity. Just like somebody will tell you, I'm coming, I won't see the person. Or the person is saying 9 o'clock, we do African time, the person is there 12. So, because of these things people are saying, there's no integrity. When you are working, the first thing you must have is integrity. Let people see that you have integrity. When they see that you have integrity, then trust will come. When people don't trust you, they won't do business with you. Just like she has said that we are minority, fine, and we don't really have the economic power to speak. If you look from generations in this country, the Indians or the Bangladeshis that they have come, they come together as a community. They put their resources together and form something. They are able to do that because they have trust among themselves and they have integrity. But for we blacks, can we actually come together and without cheating ourselves? We don't have that integrity. We don't trust one another because of what we are saying that have gone, So that's why we don't have that money to actually start a big business. You see, most of the big business, like in UK today, the richest man is an Indian man, Tata Steel. And he's all, these people, when they are working, they bring their whole generation, their whole family is there. Just like she's saying. A lot of these Indians you see that are rich today, they are not the ones that started it. So they have things they built on, like the Jews too. But with black, there's nothing for black people have not built on anything. Why? Because of our kind of mentality. The black people don't believe in. They just think only your own business is hard. They don't really want to go through that hurdles. They believe in working for people. That's a mentality we need to treat. We shouldn't allow our children to think that it is impossible to do. There is nothing impossible when you are determined and you have God. It's hard. Life is hard. But when you keep up, you will get there. So when you stop, the next generation picks from there. So as you are training your generation for them to see. You bring them to be part of it. And I think that's what blacks they lack. So some of them that are even doing business, they're not putting in there. The Indians, in the establishment, the receptionist is the cousin. The accountant is the niece. They don't bring outside people. They bring their own people to grow. Minus the trust. That's how they do. They bring in their own people. So them, instead of them to pay another color, another raise money, they prefer, even if they know their own person is bad, they want to pay their own person because they believe in their growth. That's how they are growing. But for we blacks, we don't do that, and for various reasons. Like we own our own business. From experience that I've seen, somebody might come and say, "Oh, you don't have a black person in your shop." Is what I'm telling you. No integrity. Your work is supposed to start 9. A black person is giving you an excuse every time it's coming 10 past 9, 20 past 9. When the business is supposed to start 9 o'clock. Meanwhile, you put a white person there. You put an Indian there. 5 minutes to, like my husband gets there 9 o'clock. Our workers, they are there before. They are always waiting outside for us to open the shop. That's what we are talking integrity. Then you are talking of customer service. Black people don't have customer service at all. But you see these white people, they are out, they are friendly. They make you feel welcome. But the black person, even if you are trying to correct the person, he's asking you what? Is it because you're employed? You see, you can just talk to. So I don't want you to come and spoil my business for me. So why will I employ you? So we are not talking about somebody say, "Oh, we are not helping black community." Why are we not helping ourselves? How can I help you when you will not make my business grow? I need somebody there that will make my business grow. So that's a mentality we have to cure as a black person. Don't sit down there and say, because it's a black person that has employed me, you misbehave. Because if a white person employs you, you not go there and misbehave. You'll be there before them. But because you are working with your fellow black person, you tend to misbehave. You don't do your work well. And when the person is trying to correct you, you are spreading rumors and lies.
They'll spoil your name, your this. So people will just get angry for not even understanding what you
exactly. And so for us to really, grow, it's going to take time because it's taking these other groups generations to be where they are. It's not one day. It's going to take time for us to get to that stage, but we must be ready to change our character, our mentality, and we must be ready to work.
Hard work.
Black people just believe, oh, they work hard. But what hard work are you doing? Doing care work, working for somebody. When we say hard work, you are starting your own where the profit is not there. But you are ready to go through that weather storm. Because one day, but we don't have that patience as black people. We want to
now. And following on for Onimi said, she said working hard. They said working hard or working smarter.
Exactly.
My youngest daughter is 8 and I teach her and she'll tear up her heart. I said, what is integrity? She said, Mummy, integrity is doing the right thing when no one is watching. Even when no one is watching. And it's something, when I was coming up professionally and I going to organisation, I've been the only black person there. When they say 9 o'clock, I'm there 8:30, I'm there 8:15. As I'm, leaving the team, I leave, I'm the last person to leave. Because
the sacrifice.
People are watching us.
Exactly.
And what black people don't realise is that when you're there, you're not just Judith, you're not just Tim, you're not just Onimi, you're representing the people.
Exactly.
So when another race sees you mess up, they don't judge you by Tina.
No, they judge you by color.
Right. That's what we got to think. Your personality will open or close doors for you. So we need to be smart. We need to be wise. And your mentality. I was speaking to a dad in a school this week or last week, and I saw him on the TV, and I said, "Oh, I haven't seen you." I didn't mention I saw him on TV. I said, "Oh, how are you?" I said, "Oh, I thought you moved to LA." I made the guy laugh. He said, "Well, Judith, you know what?" I said, "That's how we got to do it." He said, "Well, I realized at a late stage that I need to be smart." I said, "You know what? That's it. We need to be smart. We need to teach our children multiple streams of income. We need to teach our children that actually we can do it for ourselves. We just got to be smart." To Judith, and we had a good conversation just while we were walking to pick up our children. Judith, we really spoke. I said, "Yeah, you got to start from somewhere.
Yes.
It's never late. It's, there's no time as late.
Exactly.
But we got to be smart. We got to change our minds. That mentality from yesterday, we need to change it.
Yes.
Especially in the year of 2020,
Exactly.
where we've had the murder of George Floyd. We had Black Lives Matter. That gave us the courage, black people, the courage and the platform to speak up and speak out.
Yeah.
So now that's given us the platform, we need to be wise, we need to be smart. What is it tomorrow going to look like for ourselves or for our children?
Yeah.
I'm struggling today and I'm working hard for tomorrow for my children. Even as I'm sitting here, I'm plotting and thinking about what my next move is going to be in 2021, what else I want to do, what I want to accomplish, what I want to purchase, things that will benefit my children when I'm dead and gone.
Okay. Do you think also that black people, like, when black person is working for you, either they are trying to bring you down, because when you're working for some white person, they'll obey the rules and regulations. But when they are working for black person, I think they always want to beat the person who even employed them.
We don't respect our own. And I don't know if that's today, I don't know if that's yesterday, I don't know if it comes, you hear people say it's from slavery, I have no idea. Because even when you go to Africa now, the way black people will revere the white man, revere the Chinese man, revere the Indian man.
Exactly.
You know, my husband keep on telling the story. When it was a couple of years ago, I went to Ghana. I went to a very nice spot, sitting there enjoying, I lived with my uncle, and my oldest daughter was very young. Then an Indian family came. You know what they did? They went to the DJ, gave the DJ a CD, and they started putting on the music. My husband got mad. My husband's got temper. He said, "As a DJ," I said, "Hold on a minute. Do the people that own this place?" I said, "No." Do they have they got the best table or something? Other VIP said no. I said, "So why did you take out our own grown music, Ghana music, and you put the CD in there?" The guy quickly took it out. So it's that mentality we have. That it's almost like we respect other people before ourselves. And unless we change that, they said, you know, they said you have to love yourself before what you can love anybody else. So black people, you know, we admire so much. You know the way people put us down because they like everything about us. They like our shape, they like our women. They like, as someone said, they like our. People like our rhythm, but they don't like our blues. They like everything about us, but we ourselves, we cannot see it. We have to love ourselves as a people. Know what we've got. Know what we are holding. And once we realize that, we will come together. And at the moment, there's just too many differences. She's African, she's Caribbean. This one's from here. We're not together. We are not together at all. Even as we sit here, we're all from different places. But we have a mutual respect as women. I admire you, you admire me, you admire her. We've got an understanding. But to get even a group of black women in here, you see so many differences. Differences. This one ages is this one. They'll start gossiping. It's not. You see, so we don't help ourselves.
We don't
just
exactly.
And also with black businesses, black people don't invest in their business. So when the business is growing, the little profit they have, the next thing, they're buying
big house,
big car, they're buying this. That's what you see. And Asian community, they don't do that. You see somebody that is driving, let me say Ford, all right, and that person is a billionaire. But you see a black man driving Range Rover, he doesn't even have 50,000 in his account. You see, that's how we like to live large. I'm not saying living large is bad, but you need to have a solid foundation. If you have a business, invest in your business. Have a foresight of that. If in the first place I ask you, when you want to start business, what is your foresight? What do you want? How do you want that big business to be? You must have a plan. So not just have selling something and you are having 1,000 profit and you think you have arrived. That's what you won't see in those communities. They put back the money. They put back the money. You know, they are expanding. They are having different ideas. If they are doing this, they are doing that. If they are doing this, they are doing that. You know, but you go to a black business, you want to buy something. The person does not even have it. He's not stocking it. You know, the place is scanty. And you're wondering what kind of business are you saying you are running?
do you all these things? Do you think it's like the slavery that we go
It has
through,
nothing
or
to do with slavery. It's just our mentality of.
what caused that mentality?
You know what, as well? Black people, we don't have foresight.
Mm-mm.
We're very short term. We think
That is
very
it.
short term.
Yeah.
We think today, tomorrow.
Mm.
Other races or other, they think they've got the long game.
Exactly.
They think, okay, 5 years, 10 years,
Yeah.
15, 20. We're
Yeah.
thinking 6 months, 1 year, 12 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when we're doing our planning strategy, it's got to be long term.
Yeah.
Yes, you're going to have your short term goals,
Yeah.
but you've got to be in it for the long
You
term.
You have to
You don't
focus.
start something and expect to reap the rewards just like that. It won't happen.
Exactly.
So you got to. So when you think like that, you think, okay, I'm in it for the long term.
Exactly.
I'm doing this. This is the next step. When I do that, I go to that.
Yeah.
Then that. When I get this, I'm going to invest that back in the business.
Exactly.
We're going to do this. We'll diversify. But the black man will think short. The black business thinks short term.
Exactly.
Doesn't.
That ambition is not there.
Mm.
We are not really that ambitious. We are just comfortable in the small zone that we are. You have one small thing you are doing. Oh, you are just okay like that.
Okay, yeah.
We don't believe that we can go further. We don't believe that we can make it big.
Don't you think that our culture also limits us?
I don't think our culture
Because,
because there are some black people that are breaking through.
Okay.
They have the same culture like you. The difference between you and them is that they have foresight and they have ambition. That's the difference.
Mhm.
So it has nothing to do with culture. You must know what you want in life. Like I'll give you an example now. In the pharmacy business, right? My husband's in a group. For all the pharmacies in the UK, you have only 14 black people that own their pharmacy.
40 or 40.
14, 1-4.
That's diabolical.
All the pharmacies are owned by Indians. But the pharmacists that are working for this pharmacy are all black people.
That's very sad.
Because they don't believe they can own their own.
Mm.
So they believe to go and work for an Indian man.
I think that's how we were trained, that you have to work. We go to school, back home, you go to school. When you finish school, then you have to work for somebody.
That's what I'm
to-
saying. The mentality must change because you are not back home, you are here, you are seeing what people are achieving. It has to do with your determination and your ambition to make a change. You want to make a change. You don't want to continue with that kind of generational, is it a course I will call it or whatever. Even when a black man is starting business, it doesn't have a focus. That's what I'm telling you. The small profit is coming, he's spending it. You see an Indian man like this guy, Britannia and India, he has 20-something pharmacy. One man.
Wow.
In this country, even the black people that have pharmacy here, they have just one. They just have that one. The small profit that is coming, they are eating it. The reason I'm talking like this is because I've learned from my husband. He just started business. Now, are you thinking of buying the second one?
See?
Because
See?
his own mentality is different from black.
Yeah.
People will say, oh, it's got black people don't have the economy, they don't have the capacity, they don't have the capital. Where is he getting his own capital? It's his own planning right from time.
So I think we lack planning. isn't
He has had this planning in his head. I'm not going to work for people in my life. I need to own my own. So because of that one, he has been saving, he has not been living large. I've heard stories about people talking about him in this country. Look at him. He's still driving that small Toyota. He's still doing this. His mates are using Range Rover. And sometimes I laugh and I look at them. If you know what my husband wants, hey, your Range Rover, I go buy a cash. But because he has a goal, he's focused.
Yeah.
He knows what he wants. He doesn't look at people.
Yes.
Because we black people, we like to live, we like
Impress
to
people.
impress people. So the money you are supposed to do business, you are using it to buy one house that you are not able to pay the mortgage. We don't like to start small. You are buying one car that you are, in fact, the car you are paying, you are paying tax, you are paying insurance. You are not coping at the end of the day. Why do you like to live that kind of life? You live life to please people than for you to be focused. You know, I've always learned that thing from my husband. He's always telling me, it's tomorrow. They don't live for today, just like what you said. Tomorrow. We started small. When I came to this country, we were living in one room. It's not because we could not afford accommodation. Because my husband was not around. And I looked at myself, what will I be doing in a 2-bedroom house? He comes weekend, or sometimes once in 2 weeks, once in 3 weeks. So I lived in one room in London for 7 years. It's not because, you are aware of it, it's not because I could not afford the accommodation. I had plan. We had plan. Because when he came from Nigeria, we had our own pharmacy back home. So when he came here, it was like, fine, I have to do this course. He did this course. He became a pharmacist. He said, no, this is not good enough. because that's the foresight I'm telling you. He always knew what he wanted to be.
Yeah.
He went to do his clinical to get a master's, 2 years. Now he's paying school fees. I'm looking after the children because my kids were young. So if I'm going to live this large life, driving a big car, driving a house, at the end of the day, we will not meet up.
No.
That's why they say you must, if you want to get married, you must get married to somebody that will help you in life, somebody that will push you. Because if you don't have the same goal, it won't work.
It won't work because you don't understand.
I knew where he was going, so I didn't mind what people were saying. I was following his track.
Yes.
So within that 7 years period, he got his master clinical pharmacy. He specialized in diabetes and cancer. He said it's not good enough. I want to be a prescriber. He went, this one is money. Oh. Every school is going. If he's not paying 20,000, he's paying 10,000. All he did in Scotland, he went back to uni, he became a prescriber. I didn't see the first slide. And the last thing I was angry, I was telling you, I was like, this man is book is reading. All the money was supposed to do is just paying this school fees. He's just reading the book, reading the book. You know, but there was something I told myself, I need to develop my own self.
Yeah.
He cannot be going higher and I'm there. I started doing courses to meet to his standard.
Yes.
By the time he finished all these courses, he's like, by then we are saved.
Yes.
And then I said, it's time to move on. Let's buy our house. You know? It's not because I'm bragging or anything, but because we are saved. I didn't buy a house with 10%. I put 100,000 down deposit to buy my first house. Because the man has saved. When he finished that one, he said, the next project, I want to own my own pharmacy. I was like, we need a break. We just do this. He said, no. He said, he's not thinking of going to buy Range Rover, or going to do this, or going to do that. He saw a pharmacy he wanted. The money is there. He went to the bank. Because of the equity he has in his heart, most black people you see, they don't have equity. The small money that will just enter the house, they will take it to go and do something. So, how will you get loan from the bank? These are the things the Bangladesh and the Indians, everything they are doing. You need equity to get loan. When my husband enters bank, they ask him how much he wants. He doesn't go to say, can you give me this? They say, how much do you want?
Because they've seen something.
HSBC is backing with, he has a gold card. It's not a normal debit card you and me and you are using, but that's not what he's using. Because the man has sold. He's not living large. Because he has a focus.
He has a long-term plan.
He has a goal, he has a long-term plan. When the pharmacy came, the money came from the bank straight away. There's no delay, nothing. He bought it. Now, when we bought the pharmacy, you saw how it was now. He was like, this is not a pharmacy. And I was like, oh boy, we need money to survive. He said, just bear. Within 6 months, June to this, we took that pharmacy over. We bought it for 355,000. The stock, because the man was not stocking. That's what we're saying. The stock was just 14,000. Within 6 months, my pharmacy is 500,000 now. The stock he has put in that pharmacy is 100,000 pounds. Now, when we took that pharmacy, he's
empty, like, yeah.
Even the prescription were nothing to write him about because the person that sold it had bad attitude. That's what we're saying. A lot of people like most customer service. But when they saw the difference, the kind of services he provides for people, it's not all about money, it's about you. People are the ones telling, not ministers, they call us the rainy people. Within 6 months, if I tell you how much prescription that man is doing, he can't even cope. 111 is in the whole of Minister is the only one doing 111 service. You know, for government to give him 111 service contract,
it's all
down to services. What you are providing.
Yes, also his service and his mindset as
His
well.
mindset.
So his mindset was
sacrificing himself.
His mindset.
his plan. He had a plan.
That was why I was doing those courses. Now, if you go to our Minister page, he's the only prescriber as a pharmacist in the whole of our Minister when you have 5 pharmacies there. So because he's a prescriber of this lockdown, GP they do have, they send him half. Yeah, he's been paid for everything he does. He prescribes, he will do urine test. The services that man does is more than the prescription is doing because he has prepared himself. Because he had long-term goal. So he went to prepare himself with studying those courses and now he's using it to work. So but that is what black people, we don't have. You know, sometimes I call my husband black man's skin with Indian brain. Right now, I'm not having cash to flow, but everything is there. When you go to that place, you see the difference. You can't come to, there is no drug you are looking for that will tell you come tomorrow. He has stopped. You know when they say stop? So because when you go to somewhere, every time they tell you come today, you feel these people are not serious. But when you come, you see hospitals, they call him. This patient we are discharging. Are you stocking this cancer drug? Are you doing that? How many this for a black man? Even the white people come in and say, oh my God, you are the man. You are the man.
It's because he has.
So what we need to take,
That is it.
Yeah.
And that's the thing we need to do. That's going to push us forward, because
That
we
is
always
it.
say, oh, because I'm black, because
Yes.
no,
It's not because you are black. No.
Your mindset, your
Your
planning.
mindset.
Yeah. Because I remember some time ago that she was telling me what she was going through. She was very angry with her husband that how can they live in one room, blah 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 blah. But now, I think she suffered again now because she has to sacrifice sometimes. And now I think we all have to put in our mind that not every money that you spend, every money you get the money, then you
Invest
spend.
in
You have to
yourself.
invest in
Invest
yourself.
in your
Training.
business. If you're investing in yourself, that will eventually help your business.
Yes.
When I was coming out professionally, my kids would tell you every year I'll go on a course. I pay for it myself because I know that will help me to jump in my role. And every time I jumped, I said to my husband, at least I must jump about 5 to 10 grand.
Exactly.
I'm not moving the job just for what? No.
Exactly.
And every job I jumped, there was an increase of 5 and 10. The only reason, one time I went backwards, that's because I wanted a certain job title. But once I got that, the jump I made was incredible. Even now, as I've started my own business, I'm now refining myself, I'm honing myself, I'm specializing in certain areas, so that when I come out strong, there was nothing that anybody comes to me and says, Judith, I need coaching on this, I need support this, that I won't be able to help you with the solution. But that's because I'm investing in myself. Some people say, oh, that's a waste of money. Blah, blah, blah. I don't see it as a waste of money.
Exactly.
I'm investing in myself to
Invest
invest in my business and to help my ultimate, who is the end goal, is the customer. They're the one that will benefit, and in turn I will, because the value I'll be serving them will be so they'll come back and they'll become repeat customers, and then who knows what that will lead on to. Just like Onomi's husband now, because of what he's established, what he's done, he's now thinking of his second pharmacy. We need to, that fear factor, we need to get rid of it. We need to, that mentality whereby you have to have a 9 to 5 job. You know what, 9 to 5 is for somebody. It's not for everybody. But you should not think that that is the only thing that you can do, because one, you'll never be rich and you'll never be happy working for somebody else. Somebody takes in, oh, you have to go, your child is sick, no, you've got to come in, no. And I think this COVID-19, and with this lockdown, whereby people have been working from home, I'm telling you, a lot of people have changed their lives completely. Because now they realise, oh, so I don't need to be in the office 100%. And actually, that job I'm doing, I don't particularly like it. So I'm going to start a side hustle. I'm going to start a business. I'm going to do some further learning. So this year, as much as it's been a year of devastation, it's been a year of transformation. Because people have had a chance to think and to reset their buttons and say, you know what, I want better. I want difference. I want something else.
That's very good. That's very good.
And let's say business is not for everybody anymore.
That's
Everybody cannot do business.
Exactly.
But whenever you find yourself, what field, develop yourself in that field. Because some people, everybody just come to this country, nursing. Even if you want to study nursing, can't you go further? You just finish the nursing and you stop there. But you see other races, they continue to study, they are studying. Before you know, they are the head of the nurses there. But the black people are at the bottom. They don't do anything. When my husband was still working, he has never worked as a pharmacist at the bottom. Because immediately he graduated, he went to do his clinical. He came with masters 2 years. So by the time they are paying him, they are paying a pharmacist this rate. His own is low because of his qualification. He finished and became a prescriber. That was when he was working for Great Thomas Hospital. So by the time a pharmacist is taking like 30 pounds, he's taking 70 pounds per hour. Because he has developed himself. So black people don't, they just see that small money. They stay there, they don't go. I've had his friends tell him, that's also book you they read. You know they go holiday, you know they pay, you just look at them and laugh. So some of them when they say, oh, now everybody wants him. How did you do it? How did you do that? He said, I'm not sure you want to go through what I've gone through. It's determination in life. Your goal. What do you want in life? You know, but we are just too concentrated in our small spots. Even if you mustn't be a business person. That place you are, get to the peak. Honestly, I have my nieces and my nephews there in this country. One of them is a pharmacist from Nigeria. So she did that course. She's just following my husband's pattern. She's going. The other one studied engineering. She did a master's. She's in Canada now. Good job. Then the last boy, you know him. He's very close to me. And he was like, I'm not good at sciences. I said, what would I study? I said, I did accounting. Do accounting. There's prospect for you because you came here as a child. He did accounting. He graduated. He graduated with first class. So that one enabled him to get a job with Ford Motors. And I said, that's just a starting point. So from there, I say, because it's when you are young, you can study. Don't sit down there and say you have a job. He's 25 now, 24 last year, became chartered accountant. investment bank in the city took him. Everybody working in that bank came from Oxford and Cambridge. He went to Canterbury. And I told him, you know what I want to see? Their integrity. And you keep studying. In a year, he started heading everybody that he met in that place.
Oh, wow.
And now, because every promotion he gets, he comes to tell me, now they say they are training him to become a trader in the bank. He's 25 years old, he's 100,000 a year. You can't even talk of his benefit. He just bought my sister a house.
Can you imagine?
Because I'm telling them, that sport is not keep going. Keep going. You know? You don't just sit down there and, I'm a graduate already. You see, at my old age, I'm still going to school.
What old age? You.
This one is just done.
Okay, what I said is that comfort zone.
Yeah.
Even if you're an individual or you have your own business, don't stick in your comfort zone.
Push yourself.
When me and my husband bought our second property, it took me 3 years to convince that man to move. He said, "Do you want to move?" And I said, "You know what? Oh, our neighbours." I said, "You know what? The neighbours, you'll soon see that the neighbours will go and leave you.
Exactly.
You've got to think about tomorrow. You've got to think about your children. You've got to think about the future."
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to say is, and when we got to a place, there was a bit when it was getting a bit hard.
You think we need a little bit of push?
You know what? I didn't get a push. My parents prayed for me, and my mum's sister prayed for me. But in terms of anybody in my family who's doing it, it wasn't that way. And one time I said to Mum, I said, "Oh gosh," I said, "moving forward is hard." She said, "You know what? It may be hard." I said, "You know what? Sometimes I wish I could just stay still." I said, "Staying still might be easy, but is it comfortable?" It's comfortable for some, but the way you are is not comfortable for you. Even as I'm sitting there, I feel sorry for my husband because every day I've got to Rich, we need to do this, 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 Rich, we need to do this,
You need by your
Rich, we need to
side,
do this.
you know?
And he says, and the guy goes, I said, "You know what, you are where you're," it says, "Rich, we need to do this." I said, "Right." And once I plant the seed, like you see on the internet, "Oh, Drew, I've seen this, oh, Drew, I've seen this." I already told him, next year, I said, "You know what, we must buy somewhere in Ghana, and I want to buy a second property." I said, "Right," I planted the seed. I said, "How are we going to do it?"
Yeah.
I don't know, I said, "Right, we've got to think of a way." That's the next step.
That
So
is
we
it.
don't stop. Just like the other communities, they don't stop.
No.
If you got business, you don't stop at one. Make sure that business is the best you can be,
Yeah.
and then how do you grow it?
Exactly.
Because it's only benefiting our people. You're benefiting tomorrow.
Yeah.
As an individual, okay, I've got to. How do I continue? What do I do? Don't just stay your level. Come up because you owe it to yourself. Because of in places, because people have pushed, maybe women or black women have pushed. That's opened the doors for other people.
Yeah.
So don't be selfish. Just think of yourself. Think about your own people and think about tomorrow. So if you have a business or you're an individual, don't stop where you are.
You have to develop yourself.
Develop yourself. Push yourself out of your comfort zone. Let's say successful people, you know what they do? They do something every day. They do something that scares
Exactly.
them.
Exactly.
Because then you realize your comfort zone is like this.
Exactly.
Then tomorrow you do something that scares you.
Yeah.
What happens? Your comfort zone gets what? Bigger, slightly bigger.
Yeah.
Then next day you do something else, and it gets slightly bigger. So all those things that you're fearful of, you don't become fearful anymore, and your comfort zone was from going from being very little becomes very big. There you go. And then the world becomes what? Your oyster.
Exactly. So people, the thing I tell people, my slogan is don't be afraid to fail. Failure is not.
That's the best
is
teacher.
nothing.
Failure is the best
Stand
teacher.
up. Don't be, and that is what is wrong with black people. They are afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to fail. Fail, start again. If it doesn't work, start it till you get it right. KFC got it right at the age of 60. And so the KFC is everywhere. Don't be afraid to fail. And that's why I teach my children. It's not that I'm trying to impose things on them, but I make them see reality in life. Life is hard. You are living comfortable now, you get everything you want. It doesn't come like that. You work for this life, you must. So I keep telling them, my daughter's mind is always, she knows what she wants. She knows what she wants to do. And I'm telling her, it's not just becoming a doctor. I don't want you to go to the hospital and be earning 5,000. I'm telling her, I'm going to open a GP for you. So I'm putting it in her head that she must do business. In every course you do is business. You can't compare those that are in the hospital and those that are on GP. It's two different ball game. That's why you see the Asians is GP they have. Because they know where the money is. But you see the blacks, they sit there in the hospital and be doing.
And we think that's good enough.
Like, my husband never worked 1 day as a permanent worker. All the time he worked there, he worked as a locum. Locum is very hard. Because you are carried everywhere. You need to pay that price. Because what you are being paid as a locum is different from what you are being paid as a permanent staff. So when his mate is saying, "Oh, I'm making this," when they hear what's there, they say, "How come?" Because he's traveling like a mad person.
What do you think is all boiled down to sacrifice? Like she has.
That is what I'm saying. You must want to sacrifice. There is no getting up there without sacrifice.
She's right.
You must pay the price.
Yeah.
If you see the up there. It's very spacious. People are not there. It's this ground that is tight. Everybody's
Crowded.
fighting for crumbs. When you get to that place, it's too spacious. I'm telling you. But how to get there? You must make the sacrifice now. Me, unfortunately, I've seen it in my family. People have worked hard, and I've seen the result of their working hard. So I know it pays to work hard.
Yeah.
And I got married to a man that knows how to work hard. You know, I'm not afraid to work hard. You know, you don't have all the good things on the time, but when the good things start coming, you reap it.
Yeah.
And for your children. So we need to start instilling these things to our children. Because a lot of children are growing up with this same mindset of going to work for people.
No.
I've cleared that mindset for my children. I've told my son, it's not because I'm pressuring you, I'm letting, because we take them to the pharmacy to go and work for weekends.
At this age.
Oh yes, their father is instilling into them, so they are getting used to business. So my son is saying, he's even telling me, you, when I only him now by himself say, when I graduate, I'm going to chase you and daddy out of this place. And my husband said, no, among the ones that we have, you'll be controlling stuff. So he's having that mindset.
There you go.
He's not having the mindset of saying he's going to study and work for somebody. Because we keep, my husband will be like, you will be a poor man in your life if you work for somebody.
Just like I said, you'll never be rich.
You will never be rich. You will never get what you want in life. So they are having this mindset of that business is good. Now they are seeing business. You are putting them in the system.
You know, we're so interested when you said that, because obviously I started my own business, and I've almost, you could say this year, I've restarted it twice. This is the third one because I'm involved in it. And my daughters have seen me have permanent jobs. They saw me for 7 years doing contracts. You know, anywhere, Judith, North London, West London, South London, I would chase the contracts and chase the money because I knew what I wanted. My daughter said, Mummy, you know what? I think I'm becoming an entrepreneur. I said, that's right. I said, you know what? You start with my bookkeeping. You do work for me and you'll see. And then I'm in school. I said, so what do they teach you in school? Tell them what they teach them, but there's certain life skills. They're not teaching our children. So I'm starting from here, the older one, she's 14. I'm teaching all the bits that she needs to know, life skills, entrepreneurship, that kind of mindset. So, Mum, you know what? I think I want to be an entrepreneur. I said, Tilly, that's fine. You know, you can be more than one thing. I said, that's fine. I said, you know what? It starts from now. Let's start.
Because that's what the Asians do to their children. Sorry for cutting you off. The Asian children, from when they are small, they started thinking of the business their father is doing. They are thinking of how they want to take over. And their parents is telling them, you are start thinking of how you want to expand it. What do you want to do? See all the drugs you are buying, they are from India. They are all Indian people. You go to Emerson Park, that place I love to live. 90% of people living in there are Indians. The cheapest house in Emerson Park is 1.2 million.
That place is nice. Oh,
that's my dream. And I'm going to get it. That's what I'm talking about. Because we got there to see some people. We deliver drugs to some people. Everybody there, Indians. White people are not even there. I'm not seeing one black man there.
You know, the problem is sometimes we get so comfortable in our own. Look at where we are now, this area.
I think it's
We need to, that's why we need to move out and see what is outside.
Sometimes it's better when you surround, let's say birds of a feather stick together. I understand, but sometimes it's not good because all you are is everybody's the same. It's that vanilla. You have to move out. Then your mind's a bit different. You have to take a risk, and you realize you step by step. Wow, is that what? And when you're in it, you can't see it. For me, I would say moving from one area is another. Because I took a risk. I'm in a different environment. Even because, Mum, people around and they say good morning. We don't see this dog poo. We don't see spit. So now they've seen the good things. Oh, Mummy, we want to move to a house that's got simple. I said, you know what? I've seen you guys like nice things. You know what you do? Yes, Mummy. We need to study. You need to study hard. That starts from today. If that's your goal, you've got to start from here. Because I'm working to help you guys. But that what you've got, that is even bigger than my dream. So that's the next thing that you will carry on.
Okay. So finally, can you run up? What advice are you going to give it to our black?
My advice is first of all, know what you want. Leave this mentality of leave your comfort zone. That's what I'm saying. We are in our comfort zone. We are afraid to take risks. We are afraid of failure. You know, you need to see what the world is offering. Look at what do you really want in life? Do you want to that large life that African people like? How do you want to attain it? You know, when you look at me, there are a lot of people I admire back in my own country, Nigeria. I admire Dangote a lot.
Wow.
Dangote is
That
a
man.
worker. He's the richest man in Africa.
Yeah.
He has worked together. The money didn't fall from sky. Just like we were saying, Dangote didn't start from scratch. The business was started by his grandfather.
Oh, okay.
The father passed it to his father. Now he took it. So every generation, they are expanding. They are not just coming there to see, okay, we are just taking this one to stay there. No, now he's building the biggest refinery in Africa. There is no business Dangote doesn't do. The business is doing that is not what the grandfather or the father did.
So he's doing more.
That is it. So me, and surround yourself with people that have the same mindset. That's the way we live. Like me, I look at Dangote from far. So I'm looking at what he does. So I'm aligning myself to say, yes, I want to do this. I want to try this. Even if I fail, it doesn't matter. I want to do this. I want to do this. Because I like good things. I like to live large. But you need to work together. So we need to live out. Even if it is not business you are doing, wherever you are, develop yourself. Tell yourself you have to get to the peak.
Yeah.
Don't sit down there. You just study one thing and you are there. You know, you need to aspire for anywhere you are. Want to be the boss. If we don't have that, and that's the mindset every other community they have. They want to be the boss in everything. In the hospital, wherever you see them, they don't just settle for the less. They settle for the best. You know.
Thank you so much, ladies. And this is very important topic we've discussed. And I think my audience will learn a lot of what we are discussing now. And all of us, we are going to, we have learned that we don't have to settle for less.
No.
And we don't have to be scared of failing. We have to keep on moving and also develop ourselves.
And take risks.
And
Take risks.
Take
as
risks.
well.
And
If
if
your
you
comfort
do,
zone,
work and walk
Mm.
in excellence.
that is it. Integrity.
Integrity.
We lack integrity in our community.
Yeah.
Integrity.
And I'm so pleased, and I'm so I'm so glad that we've discussed this topic, because a lot of Black people are suffering because we are working for people.
Yes.
So if the person says today there's no job, which means we are stuck.
Exactly.
So we
You
all
are
have to
missing.
develop ourselves, start taking risks, start moving forward, and you can't
Calculate-
just pray.
calculated risk.
Huh?
Calculated risk. We don't want people to now just jump from the frying pan to the fire. It's got to be calculated.
Yes.
Do your homework.
Yes.
Do your due diligence.
Yes.
Do your planning. So that when you take that leap of faith, when you take that risk, you've kind of, not too long, you kind of, whatever you come, you will be able to manage it.
And
We've got a lot to
and also
offer.
do business in what you have knowledge about.
And passion. You need to be
Don't go and
passionate.
do business when you don't have, like you want to become a property developer, you know nothing about property. You will just fail.
Yeah.
So any business you have interest in, go and
Educate.
develop yourself in that,
Yeah.
like me, I'm taking too much time, that's my problem.
carry
I
on.
have interest in property, when I started this property stuff,
Yeah.
I will watch house for 3 years, every day. I will watch house under the hammer. I will watch location. I will watch new build. I will watch grand design because I had interest. And because I was watching those programs for 3 years, if I speak on property, you won't believe it. And that is the mindset I'm using to go, because I want to end up as a property developer. So you must develop yourself in where you have interest. Don't just go and say I want to do, and you will just fail. Whatever area you like, go and learn about that business.
Become an expert. Whatever you want to do, become an expert in that field. Don't become something like, no, become an expert.
Yes.
Know even more than the person who is the
That's
top
awesome.
expert. Develop yourself so you can talk with ease.
Yes.
You can talk with compassion. You can talk with expertise. And no one can, this guy, no. You know what you're about. You know what you're talking about.
You've heard a lot. I don't have to say anything, so we all have to learn something. Thank you for watching. God bless you.